So once you get your students in there, you'll want to start exploring the article options and the resources that are on the website. So there's a couple of different ways that those things are accessible. If you look at the top, you have library, news, and text sets, and we're going to talk about those three things. Library, these are like reference materials. They're going to be just biographical things, stuff about not necessarily current event news articles, but stuff that's going to give you information and be reference material type of thing. So biographies, primary sources, speeches, stuff like that. And you got news from back in the day, stuff, those kind of things. Just to give you an example, in library you'll have government and economics, and if you went in there, you might find an article like World Leaders Che Guevara, and that's going to be a government article, and that's going to not necessarily be something that's current because that dude's been dead for a long time. All right, so that's your library, and you have a ton of options in there. News is the next one. News is stuff that gets adapted from news articles that are current events. So you have all these categories. So to give you an example of these, what we're working with here, go to science, and we'll look at the Channel Island foxes. So this would be an example of an article that was based on a current event. This was written August 16th and adapted to Newsela from a Washington Post article. So that's the difference between library and news. Library is stuff that could have been written at any time. News is stuff that's more current and recent. And this isn't exactly news because you're getting into biographies and speeches and things like that. The next thing is text sets. Text sets are articles and news that are grouped together. So just for example, they've already done. So if you want to do like a thematic unit, text sets for literature, they have them grouped by the themes of a book that are also approached in the text set. So this is Touching Spirit Bear. All of these articles in here are going to go along with stuff from Touching Spirit Bear. That's not the only way text sets work, though. You might have some for social studies. So here's federal, state, and local government. All these articles explore themes of federal, state, and local government. So if you were a social studies teacher and you wanted to apply this to what you were doing, it'd be a good tool, right? You can actually make your own text sets, which I think is kind of cool. Your text sets, let's say I wanted to do I want to create a new text set. I want to call this President Resources, because maybe I have students are working on president reports. These are their resources. And so I just want to go through and you can also, I'm going to go through and find some articles, but you can set this for other people to be able to use yours, or this to be something that's just you don't want other people to have access to it. I just usually do everyone. So once you create a new text set, it's going to immediately take you to a place where you can start looking for materials. So since I'm doing presidents, I'm just going to start with president profiles. Let's see. Oh, let me take profiles out of here because I'm getting some weird results. Presidents. Okay, oh, here we go. This is what we want. John F. Kennedy. So I click on that article and I add it. That's the first one on my text set. So maybe I want to add Lincoln. Mary Todd Lincoln. Sure, why not? And the man himself. Let's try to find something about him. Here it is. Abraham Lincoln. Add that. We can do Washington. Get the staples out of the way here. George Washington. Okay, here's an article about George Washington. All right, so this would be a text set that I would use, and give to my students so they could start doing research on various presidents. Then I want to go back to text sets, and if I go back to my text sets, it's going to be there. And I could take that and I could share that to my students. So if I click on text set, where'd mine go? My text set's going to be there, and then I can take that text set and I can send it out to my students, right? So yeah, that's creating text sets using the news articles, current events, and a library, the reference materials on Newsela.